short. So pay attention, can you afford? Everyday conversation, decision making, breakdown, point of views, of course. He say, she say, see how we play. Real life issues, hit the replay. Debate in politics, what sport you profit with. Today's word news, food for thought, so come get a plate. Pull up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome y'all back to the Day Late Dollar Short podcast. As always, it is your hosts, the partners in crime. It's your boy Martin. I'm with my partner Marlon. What's happening, good sir?
What's up, brother? Season 2.
Hey, bro. We back. We took a break. It was good. Recharged the batteries. Not a battery. It's cold as a polar bear nutsack right now because it's cold everywhere. But hey, we out here.
Bro, it's crazy outside, bro. You got, icicles, you got snow.
Everything.
2021 ain't no joke right now.
Bro, Sub-Zero and Elsa had a threesome with a polar bear outside, bro, and fucked everybody.
Exactly, bro. It's just ridiculous. But, hey, man, what do you expect? It's February. I think it is cold, though.
Bro, they said Black History Month going to be the whitest month in the South. They down bad for that.
It's a plot.
Bro, it is, bro. Because somebody posted a meme, said, I know that ain't white snow in Black History Month. I said, you know what? That's what it is. Now, I want to say everybody stay off the roads because that black ice ain't no fool, though. You will slip and slide, and not in a good way.
There's so many videos out right now. I saw a guy, he went to his mailbox, he busted his ass with the sidewalk.
Straight up, bro.
Garbage bag.
Straight up, bro. You will bust that ass. I mean, it's tough out here. So one, and I was talking to my cousin about it. He lived in Boston, and he would. I hit him up. We were talking, and I was like, is this what it's like for this what it's like when you get snowed in? And he was like, yeah. He was like, it's not quite as much snow, but he was like, the biggest thing is the South isn't prepared for it. Like, we don't have, like, the infrastructure isn't prepared for it. Like, I'm up in Shreveport. We got rolling power outages, internet outages, cell phones don't be working all the time. And then on top of that, the biggest thing right now is water pressure. Our water system in Shreveport is 100 years old. And it's down right now. Like, they got multiple water main breaks throughout the city. Like, Shreveport water don't have water pressure. So it's a boil advisory on everything.
So it's not as bad though as Texas. Texas is in real bad shape, man.
Honestly, we're an hour from Texas. So we just as bad as them.
Really?
Yeah, so different parts, like different more rural areas of this part of Louisiana, because we're an hour from the Texas border. We got hit just as hard. We had 46 inches of snow. We don't get snow. Everything shut down. Like, I know people that went 3 days without power. I know people that said they said they were doing the rolling blackouts, and their power source was out for 45 minutes, and the power was out for 5 hours. And it's you're talking about elderly, you talking about kids, all that, and they stuck in homes with no power, no electricity, no heat, no nothing.
Yeah, I checked in on my frat brothers that live up there in Houston, Dallas, and they kind of said the same thing you're saying. It's like it'll come off a little bit, then go back off. It's like they got kids, man. They got families, so I can only imagine what they're going through, bro. It's sad.
So since that's what we're talking about, we jump right into it. It's all Ted Cruz fault and the Texas political administration. Y'all people in Texas, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Y'all keep voting for Republicans. This ain't gonna be the last time this happens. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We've been saying global warming is real. This is a key aspect of global warming. Weather pattern changes. It all started with El Nino like 20 years ago. And people say, oh, the weather's changing. I'm going to tell you right now, the first time I ever seen like real life snow in New Orleans, I was like, nah, fam, this ain't the move. I had never seen snow in New Orleans until like college. I was in college and I was actually at Northwestern up here in Natchitoches, and it snowed in New Orleans for the first time in my life. I was like 18, 19.
I can't remember that. Yeah, I remember.
So that was like right after Katrina. I was like 05, 06. So and it snowed, and I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me. And it didn't snow in Shreveport either, which is what freaked me out. Because I was like, it didn't snow in Akron. So I'm like, we're way further up north, and y'all got snow. Tripped me out. I was like, that's global warming. And we've had it up here a number of times. So that's global warming. Like the weather we grew up with is not the weather we have now. Things are different. Like when it's 9 degrees outside in Louisiana, that's all bad. Like we're supposed to be like a subtropical climate. Ain't nothing subtropical about 9 degrees.
And it feels so bad. Like you think that, it's how bad in Chicago up north, how cold it is, but down here for like 30 degrees, shit.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if we got humidity up here, we got humidity down here. A lot of other places don't have when it get cold, unless you're on a coastal city. So I'm gonna tell you right now, that humidity treats you like a hoe. You think your little jacket that you bought from the outdoor store were good down here? Nah, it's not made like the northern jackets. Them jackets got different kind of insulation. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I walked outside in my jacket, and the weather laughed at me and said, "Nah, bitch, you going back inside." It pushed right on through my jacket. It hit me dead in my chest, and I turned my ass right back around and went back inside.
Yeah, it's real out here, brother. It's real.
So speaking of Texas, so here's how it goes. We all know Ted Cruz is a hoe. He let Trump talk about him, his wife, and his daddy, called him all kinds of names, disrespectful. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna disrespect my family, because you disrespect my family, you're gonna see these hands straight up.
Absolutely.
President or not, I'd have rolled up in, I'd have set a meeting to beat your ass. I'm gonna just tell you right now off the top. You'd have had a meeting on your schedule and it said Ted Cruz's hands. That would have been me. But Ted Cruz is a hoe. So that's what happened. So once upon a time, the Republican political institution in the state of Texas voted to deregulate energy. Now, if people don't know what that means, deregulated energy means it's the wild, wild west for the energy market. Oil, natural gas, renewable resources, wind, solar, things like that, right? So out of all of Texas's energy producers, solar and wind make up about 15 to 20%. That's it. 80% is through coal and natural gas, coal producing plants and natural gas using plants. But because they are deregulated, because they are not regulated by the federal government, they don't have to follow the same regulations like Louisiana, who is regulated by the federal government. There are 4 million people in the state of Texas right now without power. Now, mind you, Texas is 2 or 3 times bigger than Louisiana. I get that. That being said, there are still a significantly fewer number of people without power in the state of Louisiana. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to be the first one. I will criticize the shit out of Louisiana because our stuff is just old. It's just old. Texas isn't old. They just don't give a shit. So the biggest thing and what's causing the issue right now is called weatherization. Now, Marlon, you're a homeowner. Has your home ever been weatherized?
No.
So you need to go weatherize your home.
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah.
So what weatherized means is insulation. It is spraying outside of your house. It is your pipes, all that stuff. People look at it. Right. You want to put the little foam shit around your pipes that keeps your pipes from freezing. As simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Insulation in your walls. Make sure your insulation is good. Making sure your windows don't leak air, because that's how you let hot air out.
Correct.
So all those things are weatherizing. So
weatherizing. Okay. Duly noted.
So what that means though is these plants in Texas did not weatherize the plants themselves. Because they're not regulated by the federal government, they can do whatever they want.
But you would think that they would weatherize it though.
Well, so that being said, this kind of weather is irregular for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say it doesn't get cold in Texas. It's not. It's irregular, but it's not unheard of.
Yeah, bro, this weather is not normal.
Not at all. I mean, not like I said, it's Elsa Sub-Zero had a threesome with a polar bear. It just fucked everybody.
That's Sub-Zero.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. So, so no, the weather's not normal, but so here's the thing: Republicans are blaming Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Green New Deal, which hasn't even really taken effect yet. But they want to blame her and say that because wind turbines are failing, that's why 4 million people don't have power in the state of Texas. Wind turbines make up 11% of the power in the state of Texas. Coal, natural gas make up around 80.
Mm-hmm.
So even if that 11% still went out, I doubt that's 4 million people.
Oh my God.
It's what it is because the plants are not winterized, because they do not have adequate protection from the elements. It's not moving. Like the fuels are not moving. The electricity is not moving. The turbines are not moving because they are not adequately producing power because of the low temperatures. Simple as that.
And as this was happening, I think Cruz should have done a better job of saying, you know what? I'm not going to the airport. Let me figure out how I can help out my city, my state.
I wouldn't worry about y'all. Come rich.
So happening, you know what? I'm gonna take a trip to Cancun.
I said
forget what's happening. Forget what's going on.
Look, when I dip, we dip.
Bro, that's first mistake right there.
Bro, that's y'all state. That's y'all federally elected, duly elected representative of the state of Texas. He said, "I'm gonna go ahead and go to Cancun." Now, mind you, he came up with a very implausible and completely bullshit lie. He said his daughter, and her friends wanted to go to Texas. Why you ain't saying your wife? Why you ain't saying nobody else? Like you're a federally elected representative. You are a servant of the people. And I understand, because if it was my kids and they wanted to go to Cancun, you know what? I flew for the first time by myself at like 9 years old, 10 years old. I flew to Virginia. I was on a whole plane by myself. Brother, stewardesses, I remember the first stewardess I ever saw. She was fine as the dickens. I got to meet the pilot, the co-pilot. I had my little wings and everything, dog. One of the best experiences of my life. That lady gave me all the chocolate milk and cookies I ever wanted, bro. It was off the chain. Dog, I flew like a G, bro. I thought I was in first class and I was in regular, but I was a kid, so it was cool to me. The stewardess checked on me like every 20, 30 minutes. I mean, the flight wasn't but a couple hour flight. Like, it wasn't long, but it was, I flew by myself from Louisiana, from Louis Armstrong International Airport up to Alexandria, Virginia.
By yourself?
By myself. Cool. I got off the airplane. They walked me out. My dad was right there waiting for me. Everything was Gucci.
That's good.
And so like you couldn't have done that. You're a duly elected federal representative. So
that's bad decision making on his part for sure.
Oh, it's not even bad decision making. I think it shows the quality of the character of the man. Mm-hmm. That's what it is to me. Like, we know Ted Cruz is a hoe, and I call him a hoe because ain't no orange looking motherfucker gonna sit there and talk about my wife and my paw and think you're not about to catch these hands. I promise you, if I was Ted Cruz and I was in his position, I would have had a meeting with Donald Trump and I would have been arrested by the FBI 2.5 minutes into that meeting.
I mean, Secret Service, all of them.
Secret Service. Look, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd have been like, Mr. Trump, I'd have reached out my hand and shaken, and I'd have uppercutted and I'd have screamed, "Oh, you can!" And they heard that bitch on the front lawn. You know, straight on the Rose Garden. And they're like, "What the fuck happened?" Man, Representative Dinesh beat the shit out the president. What? Yep.
Right.
Did
you see on Facebook, there's a post made, I think it came from like a letter from the mayor of Colorado City, Texas.
Yes, did see that.
So basically, y'all, I'm not responsible for taking care of you guys. Like, y'all just figure it out for the most part.
I don't know why y'all elected me. I'm not here to do my job. I just want to collect this check.
Basically. So yeah, Texas, y'all need to get together. So
yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that's what happens I'm gonna say this, and not all Republicans are bad. I know I have met plenty of Republicans in my life who are actually really good people.
Mm-hmm.
But people who are Republicans that align themselves with Donald Trump are morally corrupt.
Clearly.
If you allow your wife, see, first and foremost, you talked about my wife. That's all. That's a non-starter. The minute you say like if you disparage my ex-wife, we'll have words at this point. That's the mother of my children. Her and I got a it's a okay relationship, but you're not about to sit there and disparage the mother of my kids.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Even if we're not on good terms, this is not gonna happen. So if it was my actual wife, nah, fam, nah, you gonna catch these hands. I mean, like,
so my wife, you catch these hands. Talking about my kids, that's my hands. And my feet.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a curb stomp that ass. And then he talked about Cruz's family when he was talking about the whole immigrants and rapists and all that shit like that. Like Cruz was brought up in that too. So here's the thing. Ted Cruz a whole, we know that. If you support Republicans that are aligned with Donald Trump, they are morally corrupt, and this is what you get. If you care about your state, vote them sons of bitches out. Not every Republican is bad. You may not agree with their values, just like you don't have to agree with every Democrat's values. But if you have to look at you tell a person by their actions and by their associations. You know, we used to say you could tell a person who they are by who they associate with. Well, by who they associate with. That's how you tell a person. You also can tell a person by the words they speak and their actions. Those are the three things you can tell a person about: what they say, who they associate with, and what they do. And at this point, if you find yourself in a position where you have to choose between a person who will align themselves with Donald Trump and who don't, you pick the person who don't align themselves with Donald Trump. Honestly, I at this point, I don't even care who they are because clearly they're not that morally bankrupt. If they speak out against Donald Trump, I'm voting for that person. If I was a citizen of Texas, it's simple. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, really, it's not a simple choice. That's that Trump. Boom.
That's it. And especially a person who Trump dogged like a hoe, and it still went back to suck on the teeth. He dogged him. He dogged his wife. He dogged his paw and his family, and then he still went back. Nah, bro. There ain't no apology for that. There's no coming back from that. You're a hoe. We gonna fight. I'm gonna try to kill you. That's it.
Sorry. Sorry.
Look, judge, jury, execution. I'm here for it all. Smoke. I'm here for it all.
There you go. Right there with you.
But yeah, so Texas, we praying for you. Texas, we want y'all to be okay, be safe. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a lot of different resources online. There are a lot of if you can get on Facebook and see or look up, there's a lot of different ways. You know, I always say candles, batteries, stuff like that is all you gotta, you gotta keep that stuff stocked up. I know a lot of people can't get a lot of places right now. But people are sharing things and sharing resources and ways to keep yourself safe and keep yourself warm during these tough times. So, we definitely praying for everybody. And, hopefully this weather ends. Next week is supposed to get better. We just got to make it to next week. And that's tough right now.
It's also important to just reach out to people who live in Texas, let you know.
Exactly.
You okay?
Exactly. Check on them. If you're in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, like it's tough. The whole South. The South getting battered right now. Like we not prepared for this kind of weather, and regardless of whose fault that is, it just we weren't prepared for the weather in a lot of instances, and that that's everybody. We don't get this kind of weather. We're not used to it. Our cities are not used to it, and now with infrastructures failing the way they're failing consistently, it's definitely time to make a change politically as well.
Agreed.
So, to a brighter topic. Well, I mean, bright for some people. It's entertaining to me. Today, the Indianapolis Colts traded a half-eaten ham sandwich a Czech cola, and a stale bag of Lay's potato chips for Carson Wentz. Now, Marlon, what number is that on that shirt?
11.
Who's that player?
Carson Wentz, baby.
Yeah. So I just want y'all to know, Carson Wentz signed a $128 million contract extension back in 2019.
Yes.
Because Howie Roseman said, "This is our guy. We're just beginning." And here we are a year and a half later, and Carson Wentz is an Indianapolis Colt. Howie Roseman should be fired and then beaten.
This should happen years ago, though. That's the thing.
Right.
I'm glad people finally seeing how bad of a general manager he is. He's
trash. He's been trash. Even with that being trash, the decision to trade is. So I'm gonna say this. I understand Carson Wentz's stock went down. I understand his. You got all these questions. I'm gonna say this. Carr made it to a Super Bowl. He was in the MVP conversation on more than one occasion. He's put up great numbers. And yes, the last few years have been rough. Philly has been decimated by injuries over the last few years. So I don't put that all on Carson Wentz. Detroit got 2 first rounds, a Super Bowl quarterback, and like a hand job from Christina Aguilera for Jared for Matthew Stafford. Like literally, Detroit said, "Hey, Los Angeles, come bend over for me. Here, you can have Matthew Stafford." Yo, like Detroit got everything you could have ever wanted. You got a new quarterback. You got multiple draft picks. You got a quarterback who's on a contract extension already, so you don't have to pay him. You don't have to eat like the bulk of like the signing bonus and all that stuff. So, you just got the last few years of the contract. So, plus they got multiple first round picks.
For what was it? So they got a second round pick this year, I think. Oh, the first round next year. I can't remember exactly what. They got 2 first round picks and a second round pick.
They got 2 ones and a 2.
Yeah, I think the 2 was for this year. Yeah, 2 was for this year, and then 2 ones the next 2 years. That's how they operate. Yeah.
They got 2 firsts and a third, and Jared Goff.
So the third this year, and then the first next year.
So third 21, first 22, first 23, and Jared Goff. So essentially, Jared Goff is a first round pick. So that's 3 first round picks.
But has he played up to the stats?
He got up to the Super Bowl. You ain't gotta like it.
That's 1 year out of 5 years.
Guess what? Carson Wentz, same thing.
I mean, all right. So look, this is the whole Carson Wentz situation. This is the thing. Supposedly, it came down between the Bears and the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that Wentz wanted out.
Yeah.
So at that point, your market is limited because people know you gotta trade him. You have to, because there's no way him and Hurts can coexist.
You can't cut him either. Right.
So it comes down to the Bears and the Colts. Now, supposedly the Bears weren't all that interested. So it came down to
they said they didn't even make an offer.
Correct. So the Colts, they're like, all right, we know you gotta trade him, so you get a bare minimum. We'll give you a 3rd round pick and a 2nd round pick next year that could be a first. If you play 75% of snaps or 70% of snaps and make the playoffs. I mean, that's the best you're gonna get.
No, it's not.
Take it.
See, here's the thing. All right, so you know me, I've been in sales for a while. I have sat on the other side of many a negotiation of my day, splitting hairs, pennies, nickels, and dimes. And while I understand we are talking about significant amounts of money, like I won't dispute that, a negotiation is still a negotiation. It's who blinks first. And Philly blinked. So let's be real. You could have put Wentz on the pup list, and you could have sat on him. You had till week 8 to actually trade him.
Let me tell you why that wouldn't have worked. Number one, this has been a distraction the past 2 months. So you want that to linger on all the way into the season?
Here's
It's a distraction, brother.
here's the thing. It don't have to linger. It don't have to linger. See, it's about how you address it. And that's why I had an issue with it. That's why Howard Roseman, the whole team. You got to have the backbone for a deal like this. You paid this man $128 million. You invested a first round pick on him first. Then, with 2 years left on his rookie contract, you paid him $128 million. So he got 2 years of his rookie contract plus the ones after that.
See, it is a thing, but you gotta understand. The thing is, again, the point is, I know you mentioned before how he had an MVP season in 2017 to the Super Bowl. For one, he got hurt way before the Super Bowl. He did a good job of putting us in position to make it to the number 1 seed in NFC.
Right.
But after that, look at the numbers. He trended in the wrong
direction I agree
every single year.
I agree with you.
And the last point I'll make to that is the NFL is what you've done for me lately. Last year specifically, Carson was the worst quarterback in the entire NFL.
He was 34 out of 35. The only quarterback worse than him was Denver's quarterback.
If you actually watch the game, he looked horrible. His numbers make him look better because he looked that bad.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So here's the thing. Here's how I look at it. Players are like, the NFL players are like the stock market. You buy low, sell high.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You buy low, you sell high. In some instances, you got to buy high when you want to get in, when you got to get in. They bought high on Carson Wentz. They paid premium for Carson Wentz. First round draft pick, $128 million contract extension, the whole shebang, right?
All right.
They sold so low. They sold GameStop low. They sold like Dogecoin low. Like, and if you catch those references, Dogecoin trades the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency Dogecoin. It's like 5 cents right now. So that's where they sold Carson Wentz in. So what people need to understand is, and my outlook on it is this: you hold out, and you don't ride him through the season. Obviously not. He wants out. He wants to trade. Cool. We're gonna find an appropriate trade partner. He don't have to come to practice. We'll put him on a pup list. We'll put him on. Put him on whatever. They got ways around it. They've been doing it for years. Belichick's a master of it. So
but you can't.
You can't, because here's the thing. You wait till we'll see what the market is. Clearly, the market wasn't there for him. You trade him right now. That's cool. But I'm saying this. Don't get me wrong. I will always advocate for the player side of it because I want players to get what they want. Because the owners in the NFL don't want to make billions of dollars. So I'm happy Carson got traded. I'm happy Carson gonna get his money. I hope he does well with Indianapolis. You need to go ahead and let me get him for that second round pick. All that. Because I'm giving you more than what they give you in real life. So
this is different.
That being said, I know, right? That being said, business-wise and just sales-wise and negotiations, Howie Roseman showed how weak he was as a general manager. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I would have sat and waited till the market settled. You traded him before the draft. So he would have been traded before the season. He would have been traded after the draft. He would have been traded after training camp before preseason.
I would disagree with that. Number one, you have, say for example, well, in hindsight, the QB market is pretty crazy right now. You have potentially Derek Carr, who can possibly be traded. You have Sam Darnold, who could possibly be traded.
You got Carr, Darnold, Mariota. Like, you got like 5-6 quarterbacks off the top right now. Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. I mean, they talk about trading Tua.
That's what I'm saying. So, and then you look at that, and then you have the NFL draft. By that point, no team is going to trade for Carson, but you can just draft a quarterback on the cheap for the draft. So that you kind of hoping that, oh my God, don't you draft a quarterback so we can trade you Carson Wentz. They say, you know what? Teams right now are trying to figure out how they can address the free agency market, which starts in March. Let's trade Carson now, so therefore we ain't got to deal with it anymore. Like, people need to understand that, yeah, I get it. I wish we got more for it, but at the same time, we needed to get rid of this cancer, because when you look at it, it would have been a divided locker room with Team Carson and Team Jalen Hurts. That would have been a problem from the jump. Say you kept them taking trip at all. From now up until the draft, once they address the media, they would ask, hey, you heard to talk to Carson. What's Carson doing? He's going to come back to the Eagles? Are y'all going to trade him? Instead of that questioning, now that's all gone. Now it's Hurts' team for now, unless we fucking pick Justin Fields, the 6th overall. I'm not going to get on that road, but I just feel like
I'm
happy for Carson. I love Carson Wentz. I'm happy for him. But I'm also happy now that it's relieved. It's done. It's over with, and I'm happy. I'm happy as I can be.
I get that. I still say I would have held on to a little bit longer. I would have at least waited until the draft was a little bit closer to kind of see what you have. Because I mean, you barely getting through pro days. Like you're not even getting through to see where you at. Like people not even evaluating quarterbacks at this point. Like, I mean, they're evaluating obviously, but you got pro days. You still got months with that stuff. Come on, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like Howie made the pressure move because he just don't have a heart for it. Like, clearly, I mean, picking Hurts last year destroyed Carson's confidence.
That was the beginning of the end right then and there. I even told you when it happened, I was like, bro, this is not good. It's not good for Carson.
You did. You told me that last year when Hurts got picked. I remember how pissed off you were. And I laughed my ass off. And then I distinctly remember you saying it like this is the beginning of the end.
Here we are, a whole year later. So, I mean, and then I think it was good too, I forgot about this point as well, that if they trade him before March 10th, because he's due like a $10 million roster bonus. So now with his contract off the books for next year, we have $40 million in cap space next year. So again, it's unfortunate how it had to end. At the same time, I'm happy for Carson. I'm happy for my team. Like, we're in shit show right now, but I mean, I'm cool with another 3rd round pick this year, and a 1st round pick next year. I'm good with it. Take what you can get.
If it's a 3rd round next year, we'll see. I mean, a 1st round next year.
Yes, well, it's because it meet the what you call it, the requirements. But I think he'll do that because
as long as he stays healthy, you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, so I'm relieved. The pressure is finally off, and we can focus on the draft.
Yep. I mean, that's what you got. That's what you got to look forward to, and hopefully, y'all don't pick a quarterback in the 1st round this year.
But then again, like you said, high rolling, bro. You never know.
Bro, I hope Cubs get fired before the draft. I hope y'all hire a different GM before the draft. It ain't gonna happen, but I would love to see that happen.
I would love it like today. Like Howie Roseman's been fired. That would just life be complete for me.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen though. Y'all the Eagles. Y'all Browns. Y'all Browns like 5 years ago. Just can't get right. It's not good. Right. So I really just I mean, look, I just want the Saints to re-sign Jameis. That's all I want.
I don't know, bro. Why would he want to re-sign when he got passed over by Taysom Hill? I'm just saying.
We did the same thing with Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater last year. It's a pattern. We had to see what we had in Teddy. And look, we got Teddy. We advertised what we had at Teddy. Teddy went to Carolina. We saw what you got at Taysom. I promise you, Taysom, Jameis Winston, he's a long-term option.
So when Teddy was down here, was he still under contract though? Was he on a 1-year deal?
No, he was on a 1-year deal. He was on a 1-year extension with us. I mean, we didn't get anything for Teddy. Teddy was a free agent. He left and went to Carolina, and they paid him big money. But I mean, Taysom still only got 1 year. We could move Taysom and probably save some money.
don't know.
I mean,
you would think he was some type of way, but we'll see. I mean, we got a long way to go for the season, but we'll talk about that in the future for sure.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's another one. Thank y'all for checking in with us. Like I said, pray for your people out in Texas, in Louisiana, Southern Louisiana, New Orleans, and all Baton Rouge and all that. They about to get a second round of weather. Hopefully up here in Shreveport, we getting past it. We got a little sunshine today, which was nice. But definitely pray for your people out in Texas. Pray for everybody affected by this weather right now. Don't vote for Ted Cruz again. He was just reelected, but y'all shouldn't have did that. But y'all know what to do next time. And stay warm and stay safe out there. Go Colts.
Go Eagles. Fly Eagles fly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Daily Dollar Show Podcast. We out. Peace. And that's another episode. Give us a like and follow on Facebook and Instagram at Daily Dollar Show Podcast. And listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more.